Hi, it's Bill McMicken. I just want to give a brief overview here of some of the changes that have come into MyCC. As we were talking in the meeting today, it's fairly easy to take and put a link to, or put a like the 2014 catalog. It's fairly easy to add that to the pages in MyCC. What I want to do is just talk to you quickly about the mobile. The mobile pilot we're going to be doing shortly offers students and faculty the ability to log in. So when we go to Student Center, the student actually sees the latest assignments, and if they have been graded, they see the grades from those assignments. I need to log in here. So they also have a learning center where they can pull information on their accounts. They can pull information on their transcript, and the advising module is tied in there. The announcements are provided to them via an announcement page. When they go into content and look at the collaboration, they can find the courses that are being taught that they're registered for. They can actually log into those courses, and they can make submissions of homework assignments. They can get course descriptions. That's the syllabus, the grading information in this particular course. They have a menu of things they can see, so they can see their classmates, so they can see the other students that are in their class. And basically, if they have a discussion forum in that class set up, I don't know that they do in this particular one, they would find the forum in here and they could answer their questions. This blog and the forums come on the same page. So I'm going to back up here a little bit. So you can see the student is taking four courses. If he wants to jump and see how he's coming on his degree, he can come in and find out who his advisor is. He can pull up his transcripts. He can see degree progress to date. So these are some of the features on the go capabilities available in going into pilot shortly. The second thing we were going to talk about was the MyCC. There have been a few new features in MyCC that I want to just briefly discuss. So if I open a course, and I'm going to pick one here. So when we come into our course, looking at it, the classmates and discussion forum have been broken out from, they were under several items under the same tab. They open in their own portlets now, so that's not a big change. One of the nice changes in the discussion forum is that if you are making an assignment, and so here we are looking at coursework by the week. So if I were to go in and say I need to add an assignment, I am now given the option of doing an online assignment, which we had before, which uses online testing or essays and things like that. The file upload, very simple format, but now we have a forum format. So I can make a new forum posting, give it a due date. Yeah, I'm going to pick November here. Give it a due date. I can have a second date if I'm having them do replies by a date or not. I can show it now, decide how I want to grade it. I can either put this on the calendar or not. And when we come down here, I can pick which forum topic this goes with. And if I have some setups that I need to do for the forum, for instance, I can say I'm going to require the students to make a post before they can see the other students' work, because that's how I like to do it. I can tell them they have to make at least one initial post of 50 words. I don't have to do that. And I can tell them they have to reply to 2 other students, and that has to be at least 50 words. And if I want to ask my question, I can ask the question that would be on this form right there. Personally, I like to make my questions in a different color. So I go to the bottom of this thing. I can provide some instructions like post twice, and I can save that assignment. I could have also put a video in there or something else. I'm looking for a date here that I didn't put in, so I'll get that second date in there and save my assignment. And now when it comes time to grade one of these assignments, be able to go in and do the grading directly of what the student provided on the discussion forum. That's one of the changes that we have. The other change is that there is an overview page. It basically provides all the materials needed for a particular week. So if I'm in week 1, tells us what assignments are due, the coursework for week 1, and all the resources available for week 1. This is an optional page, so if you're a faculty member and don't plan to use it, you can go into Context Manager here and turn that off, or you can delete it. But overview is basically allows a different view of the course from the point of view of what's going on that week. Up here there's this thing that talks about latest news that comes out of the blog portlet, and so on a main page we have included a blog portlet. It doesn't have to be used, but there is a blog portlet there. So essentially a student, if they subscribe to the blog from that class, if it's being used, gets an email of every time there's a posting in the blog. But that also feeds this latest news portlet down here with a start date and a stop date to it. So those are a few of the highlights of the changes. And again, when you click on Classmates, it opens directly into Classmates. Discussion forum now opens directly into the discussion forum. And that's pretty much the new changes. The last changes that we're testing right now, and we'll be hopefully putting up shortly, include a rubric to go with the various type of assignments. So you'll be able to choose a rubric and grade according to a rubric. And just in case you haven't seen it, course gradebook has been greatly simplified so that if we want to look at a course gradebook, I now can come in and simply pick the system I want to use for the gradebook, and if I set up my coursework ahead of time, it takes care of the rest. So if I'm using just by points and everything's weighted according to point value, I just check that and I'm done with my setup. If I'm using grading by perhaps the week or by the chapter, I can use the unit method, and it makes all of the units graded equally. Most of us use the type method. Type method basically says that that I'm going to take all the assignments within each type and make them equal. The manual method, if I choose that one, just says I'm going to put the grade in. So I'm not going to use the system to calculate a grade. I'll just put the grade in that I want to use. And finally, there's a custom method. And the custom method is very, very straightforward. It's a 3-step process. In the custom method, you go, I'm doing my grading, and I grade by type. So that's step 1. And then either I want all the assignments I want all the types equal, so discussion forum would equal homework would equal term paper, or I'll grade that by hand. And then the final question it asks you is, how do I want to weight things? So I can weight everything equally within a type. So if I had 4 discussions, they'd all be equal. If I added 1 more discussion, they'd still all be equal. Or by point value, If I do by point value, the discussion then is simply looks at the number of points you've awarded and calculates a grade. And finally, manual. Now, manual just means I'm going to tell you how to weight them. So I can have 3 assignments for homework, but one can count twice what the other one counts. So I can use any of those methods. If I choose manually, and then I like that method, I say use that method. I put in my percents, so a certain percent goes to each of these particular categories. And as soon as I've done that, my grade book is set up and ready to go. And that pretty much concludes this video. If you have questions, don't hesitate to send me notes, and I can send you more details.